Welcome to Educare. In this video, we will discuss a topic from cost and management accounting, high-low method. So let's start. High-low method is a costing method to split semi-variable cost into their fixed and variable components. Remember, the total cost is a sum of total fixed cost plus total variable cost. And to calculate the total variable cost, we need to find out the variable cost per unit and multiply this by the activity level. The stepwise approach would be, in the step 1 you have to select the high and the low activity level. In the second step you have to calculate the variable cost per unit by applying formula, and the formula is change in cost divided by change in activity level. And then in the third step you have to calculate the fixed cost. Now consider this with the help of an example. Here activity levels, 3 activity levels has been given. First of 5000 units, second of 7500 and third of 10,000 units. And the total cost respectively is 2,50,000, 3,12,500 and 4 lakh. So in accordance with the step 1 approach, we need to consider what is the high and lower activity level. So high activity level is 10,000 and lower activity level is 5,000 units. To calculate the variable cost per unit, we need to consider the change in cost at two different activity levels, high and low, and that will be 4 lakh is the cost at highest activity level and 2,50,000 is the total cost at lower activity level. Divide this by difference in activity levels, and these are high activity level of 10,000 unit and low activity level of 5,000 unit, and hence it will be $1,50,000 difference in cost divided by 5,000 unit difference in activity level, and it will give you a variable cost per unit of $30. Now you have to calculate the fixed cost. If you are choosing your lower activity level to calculate the fixed cost, then you need to consider what is the total cost at 5,000 activity level. Total cost is given in the question as 2,50,000. Now we have to calculate what is the total variable cost at this level. To calculate the total variable cost, we have to multiply cost per unit, variable cost per unit with the activity level. Means if 1 unit required $30 to be produced, then if you have to produce 5,000 unit, how much variable cost you have to incur? That will be 1,50,000. So at 5,000 unit of activity level, the total cost is $2,50,000 and total variable cost is $1,50,000. As we know that total cost is a sum of total fixed cost plus total variable cost. So we know what is the total cost at 5,000 unit level, that is 2,50,000. What is the total fixed cost? We have to calculate. What is the total variable cost? We have calculated it as 1,50,000. Now we can easily calculate what is the total fixed cost as a difference between total cost and total variable cost, and it will be $1 lakh. So if we are taking 5,000 unit as our activity level, at this activity level we have total cost of $2,50,000. Next we have to calculate the total variable cost. Variable cost per unit is $30, when multiplied with the activity level of 5,000 unit, you will get the total variable cost of 1,50,000. Then to calculate fixed cost, you take the difference between the total cost and total variable cost. You can also take 10,000 as your activity level. Your fixed cost would be then total cost at 10,000 of activity level as per given in the question is 4 lakh. Total variable cost at 10,000 of activity level would be $30 per unit multiplied by 10,000 unit, and it would be 3 lakh. So to calculate total fixed cost, you will again take the difference between the total cost and total variable cost, and it will give you the same result, 1 lakh. Next is a situation where we need to consider the high-low method with step fixed cost. In that case, while selecting the high and low activity level, you have to choose the activity level where fixed cost remains unchanged. Those two activity level where the fixed cost remains unchanged. So again an example where we have been given 3 activity level of 4,000 unit, 6,000 unit and 7,500 unit, while the total cost is also given as 40,000, 50,000 and 54,800. Now there is a step up of 10% in the total fixed cost. Step up of 10% in the total fixed cost when the activity level exceed 5,500 units. When the activity level exceed 5,500 unit, there is a jump in the fixed cost by 10%. So they are questioning about what is the total cost at the activity level of 5,000 units. So first we need to consider which two activity level we have to take in order to calculate the variable cost and the total fixed cost at different activity level. So the point of change is here at 5,500 units. At 5,500 unit, there is a step up of 10% in the fixed cost. Before this activity level of 5,500 where the change occur, we don't have two activity levels. We have been given two activity level after this change occur. So we need to consider these two activity levels where the fixed cost remains unchanged. So first we have selected the high and low level, but in accordance with the change that occur at 55 units of activity level, 6,000 and 7,500 and their cost. Now we need to calculate the variable cost per unit, which will be 54,800 minus 50,000 difference in cost at two activity levels, and then we need to consider difference in activity level as 7,500 unit and 6,000 unit. So it will be 4,800 divided by 1,500. By dividing this, we will get the variable cost per unit as $3.2 per unit. Now we need to consider either 6,000 of activity level or 7,500 of activity level. At 6,000 of activity level, we have been given total cost 50,000. Now we need to consider what is the total variable cost at this level. Variable cost per unit is $3.2 multiplied by activity level of 6,000, and it will give you a total variable cost of 19,200. So at 6,000 of activity level, we have total cost of 50,000 and total variable cost of 19,200. To calculate the total fixed cost, we need to consider the difference between total cost and total variable cost, and that will be 30,000 800. But we know that we have to calculate the total cost at 5000 unit of activity level. This is the activity level where the fixed cost has not been risen. So we need to consider that what is the fixed cost before the jump of 10%. So let's suppose the fixed cost before the 10% increase is X, and after adding 10% of this, we will get the fixed cost of 30,800. By solving this equation, we can calculate the fixed cost before increase. Remember, as we have considered the activity level of 6,000 and 7,500, these are the activity level which occur after the 5,500 unit of level where fixed cost has stepped up, increased. So we have find the fixed cost which is after the step up increase, and as we have to calculate the total cost at 5,000 unit of level where the fixed cost has not increased, so we need to calculate what is the fixed cost before such increase. So by dividing 1.1, we can get the fixed cost before such increase, and it will be $28,000. Right? Now we need to consider what is the total cost at 5,000 units. So we can use that equation of y is equal to a plus bx. Here y is represent total cost, a stands for fixed cost, b stands for variable cost, and x stands for level of activity. So a fixed cost we have calculated as 28,000, b variable cost is 3.2, and we have to consider the total cost at 5,000 of activity level. So it will be $44,000 in total at 5,000 unit of level. Next is with the high-low method with changes in the variable cost per unit. Again, you have to choose the activity level where variable cost per unit remain unchanged. So you have been given 3 activity level of 200, 300 and 400 units, and at these levels the total costs are 7,000, 8,000 and 8,600 respectively. Further, they have told us that for output volume above 350 units, the variable cost per unit falls by 10%, and we need to calculate the cost of producing 450 units. So first we have to calculate the activity level as the cost change at 350 unit of activity level, which lies here. So before this we have been given 2 activity level, and we have to take these activity level for calculating variable cost per unit. The cost is respectively 8,000 and 7,000, and the activity level is 300 minus 200. So it will be $1,000 divided by 100 unit of activity level. Variable cost per unit would be $10. As we need to consider the cost of producing 450 units, and this is the activity level where the variable cost has fallen by 10%. So we need to reduce that variable cost by 10%. $10 is a variable cost per unit normally, and after the activity level of 350 unit, the variable cost falls by 10%. So decrease it by 10% of $10. and after the decrease of 10% in the variable cost, you will have a variable cost per unit of $9 per unit. So after this, you need to calculate the fixed cost at any activity level. At 200 units, we have total cost 7,000. Total variable cost at this level would be 10 multiplied by 200, and that will be 2000. So we will calculate the total fixed cost as a difference between total cost and total variable cost, and that will be 5,000, right? Now we need to consider the total cost of producing 450 units, and in accordance with this equation again, y is equal to a plus bx. Here y stands for total cost, a stands for fixed cost, b stands for variable cost, and x stands for level of activity. So fixed cost is 5,000. Variable cost will be considered as $9 as the variable cost has fallen by 10% after the 350 unit activity level. We have to calculate the cost of producing 450 units. So 5,000 plus 4050, the total cost of producing 450 units would be 9,050. So this is about high-low method and step-up increase in fixed cost as well as in variable cost. Do give your feedback. Thank you.